Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box, the technical trader at the techtrader.com. It's Thursday, the 12th of January. Well, it was a strange market. We plunged in the morning. We rallied back big time. Still on a down day and still with lousy technicals, but definitely could have been a lot worse, and it certainly was a hell of a rally. But we had the same thing yesterday, and I'm not convinced, quite frankly, although the biotechs had a really good day. And some of the semiconductors and other stocks that we follow also did well. So let's take a look at a few of those, and then I'll go over some shorts. How about the AAOI? They had some very positive news. The stock just exploded, gapping last night and then following through today. This thing got over 30 at one point, 30 and a half. Great day trade. Let's take a look at the 1 minute chart. You can see how it popped pre-market, pulled back, and then when it broke out here above 27 and a half, it was a damn good day trade for 3 points. Settled back to 29.85. Nevertheless, a really good day for AAOI. And the significance of this, if you look at the weekly chart, is that it exploded through everything to new all-time highs. We could very well, based on the angle of ascent, see this follow through at some point, get up near mid-30s. That's my near-term target. And there's 5 days to cover. I think that played a part in today's spike up. But anytime a stock does a big gap and a run and a big volume and closes at the upper end of the range, it's almost hard for it not to get some follow through in the next week or two. And how about our swing at AERI? Could this be making its move? Well, take a look at today's pop across this key resistance level. Right here, and it closed up the upper end of that range as well. So for me, this is a breakout day. Now the volume picked up a little, but it needs to do better than that. The good part is it closed at the upper end of the range, and what I'm going to be looking for now, can I get to 43.40 as early as tomorrow morning? It closed at 41.60, up 280 or 7%. So if it does that, I'm going to be looking for the stock to make a move to first 50 and then 55, and I believe those are my swing targets. We'll see. ARRY, this is a stock that I really, really like, of course. And after the explosive move in September and the swing trade we gave you, the stock did pull down. At one point, we're breaking some support, but it held the rising 50. Broke out right there in early November and just kept going. And right now it's in a rising channel. Near the top of that channel, but I have targets at 11 and 14 and a half going forward. It wouldn't shock me if it reached either of those, especially if it broke through 11 and accelerated, with 3.87 days to cover. Here's a stock I wanted to point out to you. I don't know how I missed this chart. Explosive move and a beautiful bull, a wedge or a flag or whatever you want to call it. But this is the kind of stock that we always follow. And so, if nothing else, not necessarily recommending it, but showing you the kind of charts that we look for. The explosive move, the pullback wedge, a low volume ebb right near the apex, and then boom. Followed by another beautiful coil that took 6 weeks to develop. Again, another low volume ebb, and then bang zoom. So we can see how the stock now has gone from literally a quarter to almost 20 bucks. Huge move. And after 5 waves, I wouldn't be aggressive up here, but we may get some follow through. Stay tuned. CENX. Well, Century Aluminum popped with some of the other aluminums as there's something going on with the U.S. and China and trade and having to do with aluminum prices and dumping and things of that nature. So the bottom line is, after holding in a consolidation for nearly 2 months, it popped with a breakaway gap and did it with 5.4 million. Today up 15% in 1 day. Now keep an eye on the recent highs at 1069 because we get through that, we're looking at 12 and then maybe 15. This could be a good swing trade. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. The volume was big and short position is 6.65 days to cover. You can see that if it follows along this line, it may very well eventually make it up near that mid-teens, 15. Swing trade CHKP, after pulling back in the morning to 87.70, finished near the highs at 89.19, up 70 cents. I just like this cybersecurity play, and I'm closely watching this because if it gets through 89.98 was the high here. And if it gets through that, we could very well see this run quickly into the mid-90s. But eventually, I'm looking for a stock to go to 105. There's 9 days to cover. This could get interesting. Here's your 2-day look. What a day for Clovis. Loving the way this is acting, folks. I know some of you are. We had a breakout here and a beautiful swing on Clovis there. When it broke back out, we're swinging it again. The stock's looking great in here, but it's also had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move. I'm not sure how far this 5th wave extends, but I want to make sure that everyone's aware that the 5th wave has now reached mid-channel at that line, and unless we punch through and run, it could easily pull back to retest the Let's see, that 46.5, 7 range is support now. That was today's low at 48.25, so anything down in that zone would be potential for support. Now, if we break through and run as early as tomorrow, I'm looking for 60 and then 65 and maybe a lot more down the road. Looking very good with 6.2 days to cover. EMCORE, well, after I gave you the pop on the buy and a pullback, it popped and then made a nominal new low, but it did it on very low volume. Then it popped and pulled back, and today reversal day. Take a look at this engulfing type bar. Watch this carefully, because if it gets above 950 as early as tomorrow morning, with a gap especially, I'd be looking for a day trade on this one, 10.5, 11, maybe even as high as 12. Like the way this is developing, there's a beautiful base, breakaway gap, pullback, ideal entry point. See if that can run. Our EXEL is doing great. Now after a couple of days of run, it pulled back, but it held support. Kind of like right there, see it? Reversal, it's an inside day, but a reversal day, so I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I want to see more volume, and I want to see it above yesterday's high to get above 1920. Once I see that, I'm looking for 22, and then I'm going to be looking for high 20s eventually. Fantastic chart. Nearly 3 days to cover as well. Fifth wave underway. It looks like a long first wave. Here's 2, 3, and 4. Wave 5 could or should take you to at least 22, and it may take you way up there. Finisar rebounded nicely. Look at the orderly, this is a big reversal on volume and an orderly down channel followed by a tightening falling wedge. Today it popped out. I won't get too excited until I see it get above 31, but keep an eye on that tomorrow. Above 31, I'm looking at a test of 32.5, and then beyond that, perhaps 34. So these are some levels of resistance to keep an eye on short term. But if it holds this line, and this is the bottom of the long-term channel, take a look at this again. Parallel line there, parallel line off the highs. It acts like it wants to reverse here. And I'll be waiting to see big volume on a breakaway move above 31 before I do anything further with it. But eventually, and this is only eventually, I'm looking for a retest of 37 followed by 42. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen now. I'm saying today was a significant reversal potentially. Let's see if we get the follow through. And again, remember when I said 30.5 was resistance, support, and it broke it that day. That was your stop. It went down for 2 more weeks. Today it reversed. Can it get above 31? They're about 30.5, 31 zone is resistance. If we get through that, I'll be much happier about it. The LABU, after reversing sharply downward yesterday, reversed back up today. That was nice to see. That is support now. Today's low at 36.31 is an area where you need to put a stop under. But my target's 45, 47 zone now. Magellan Petroleum broke out of the coil and is accelerating here. Very nice move on pickup in volume. Stock got as high as 13.79 before settling into 13.20. But it was up $1.30 or almost 11%, and the volume was the best in a couple weeks. So for me, I'm looking for more upside. The long-term chart, if it's perfect, and if it calls for near 30, now I won't be so bold as to say for sure it's going to 30, but I can see 15.5 short-term and maybe as high as 20. 6 days to cover. Nice rebound on NDRM today. There's support. It spiked off of that. Going from 20.75 to 24.25 before settling back to 22.95. It was still up to 5 or 10%. The volume was the biggest in 3 weeks, almost a month. So if we get any extension beyond that level, say beyond 24.25, which is kind of resistance, I would look for a test of the all-time highs at 26.5. If we get through that, we're looking at 30 or better. Let's move down over to SCCO. I put a swing on it today, and here's why. Copper's moving. This stock has been in a long consolidation. Notice the major multi-year run from the $1.50 range in 01 all the way up into the 50 range, or 48 range nearly, in 07. So over a 6-year period, a major move. Then the big Fibonacci retracement of about a 0.382. Bounced back, double topped, and then went into a multi-year coil. And I like to see that because when a stock breaks out of a multi-year base, it usually has a significant advance. I think if we can see 42, I think we can see 50. But the near-term target is, and first of all, take a look at the daily chart. You had the big spike in November, the pullback. A pop to resistance, a pullback. Slightly higher lows, holding the 50. And now the spike up again. Watch 35 tomorrow. If we get to 35, and today's high was 34.509, we can get through that level, we can spike to 38. Beyond that, 42. With 8.2 days to cover, I think this has energy to move. And this looks like an inverse head and shoulders with a breakout and a pullback. For me, I'm looking for, I really think 42 is a doable number. WATT, nice move up and then the pullback. For me, the hold in this level was around the 12.5 level was important. It then moved up over the last few weeks. And today's challenging resistance had popped another $1.11, 6% today. If it should get through here, we can see a quick move to 22. Mid-channel line is about 24. So something in the 22-24 area is what I'm looking for short term if it makes that move. That's a look at the long side for the charts of the day today. Let's take a look at some shorts and what they're up to. Ambarella got down to 49.5 before rallying, was down only a fraction. Nevertheless, it's broken support and it's headed lower. Now, even if it bounces back near 53, I would still look for it to go lower towards 45, and then we'll see. Carter's. This is key. Let's go back a ways. Take a look at this line going back a few years. 1, 2, 3, 4 lows in this range. If this breaks here, it completes a major top and may be headed to 74. 3G apparel. Well, you can see all the bear wedges and flags, and it's in a downtrend. And after rallying back off the bottom of the channel near support, it seems to be rolling over again. At this point, I'm looking for 23. At some point, it may get down to 18, 19. LB. Well, retailers look terrible, and this one in particular doesn't look good. If we break this level, this double bottom, we could see low 50s on it, and quickly. Life Storage, breaking a key bear flag today, on its way lower it appears. My target, 74. MIK continues to look lower. It better not break this zone, because if it does, this thing could be headed down towards 17 quickly. Signet Jewelers dropping only a fraction, but I got to tell you, it looks really weak in here. And should it break this level from yesterday's low, look, watch 81.5. Below that, we're looking at perhaps low 70s. And finally, STZ, after breaking the major up channel with a big volume downsurge and a snapback on 3 occasions, it's been unable to get through 158, and you can see that that level is also where the moving average is. This looks like leg 1 and 2. This is where leg 3 tells me it's going. 130.33, 130.31, excuse me. So I'm looking for 15, 16 points down. And folks, that's the long and short of it tonight. You guys have a good evening.